Today it's all about my ornamental grasses, my miscanthus and my zebra grass, of which I have plenty. The miscanthus, I started with one plant and I kept on splitting it over the years, and now I've got 22. My zebra grass, I've got about 7 of them, again from one singular plant. And I don't cut them down at the end of the season, nor do I tie them up in some sort of saucy way. I just leave them as they are. Yes, they're dead and they're brown. They look beautiful when they sway about in the wind. Also, when the frost sits on them, it's just a beautiful sight. Also, the birds feed on the seed heads, so it's a win-win. Anyway, it is time to cut them down because they really are starting to grow. And I have them pretty much dotted all over the place. So here next to the banana, which is still tied up, here's a miscanthus. And if you're looking in the middle of it, you can see all the green foliage coming through. So I need to cut them down today. Some more over there, over there, over there. And I quite like the way they look, but they're starting to grow now, so they need to be chopped down so we can have new growth. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to get my hedge trimmer and cut them down and then mow over the offcuts to produce some mulch. It is a great mulch, and also it is recycling and you don't have to fill up your bin because of it. So what many people do before they start cutting them down, they just tie them up with a little bit of string, so to make it easier to just get rid of whatever you're cutting off, and it makes it a little bit cleaner. But I have 22 to cut down, and some of these have bloody brambles growing in them, so I'm not going to be tying them up before I cut them down. I'm just going to cut them down and then just gather the stuff. And also in my case, cutting them down takes too much time. I'm too lazy for that. But I'll show you the difference anyway, because that's the kind of man I am. So let's do one with bondage and the other one without. Let's cut them down, and so that I don't have to bend down, I use my telescopic hedge trimmer and just go like that. He says, oh, maybe I should put a bloody battery on it. Idiot. Strange enough, it works now with the battery. Anyway, so let's cut this one first, the one without the string. And you would think it's quite straightforward, but it is an awful lot of stuff to cut and it's quite dense, so, but it's getting there. Let's have a look how different it will be with the tied up one. So as far as I'm concerned, it really doesn't make much of a difference if you tie them up or not. I personally won't tie them up because for me, in my world, it takes too much time. And here we go, next one. And that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. So, and you can see how green they already are. So they have been growing for a while. And right now will also be the perfect time to split them. So you just dig them up, cut off as much as you want, dump some back into the old hole, and the rest can go all over the place. But at this stage, I have enough. 22, I think, is about as many as I want of that. Unless, anyway, I'm not going to be splitting them today. So this is the stuff from 10 miscanthus so far. And I've got double that amount. Great, so this is a hell of a lot of stuff. So at the end of the day, what it comes down to, if you can't be asked doing this sort of work and then ending up with this much rubbish, just don't have miscanthus, or don't perpetually split them, or if you split them, give them to friends. I don't have any, so I just keep them myself. See, these ones back here, they were super easy because of the fact they've been in for a year, maybe 2 years, if that. But the big ones, pain in the ass. But, it is just one of these things that needs to be done. So now it's time to start mowing over the stuff I just cut off. And there is a lot. There is a lot here, there is further on, so this is going to be so much fun. But anyway, so it's going to be okay mulch we're creating, and also at least we're reusing what we just cut off. I wish I could have a fire. I really do. But we're not allowed to. And this is pretty much all you do. So I start with the highest setting on the lawnmower, and then I just gradually go down to 2, what I usually use for this area. So, and rather than trying to find a place to dump it because we can't have fires in this country, in the garden. And so, yeah, I think that's quite good. And also you can just mulch whatever you want to mulch. Clearly, if you have or you like your English lawn, then you wouldn't do anything like this. But there again, this is not English lawn, this is just a disappointment. So if we just take a closer look at what we've actually got. By the time you get to your number 2 on your lawnmower, this is what you get. And, you know, this is perfectly fine. I'm going to have to do exactly the same thing at the back of the property now as well. And that's me for the day. Yes. And actually, you know, once you rake it all in, it actually looks quite nice and uniform, and sort of it brightens up all the cut grass I dump on these areas. So that's me for the day. And if you have miscanthus and you haven't cut them yet, cut them and then mow over the rubbish you cut off and mulch your garden with it. Anyway, that's me for the day, and I shall talk to you guys later. Bye.